Welcome to Varsity. I'm Ryan Aber, joined by Scott Wright. Scott, a big story you have coming out Friday on the Douglas-Booker T. Washington rivalry and the reigniting of that game. How did it come about that this game is going to be played Friday at Booker T?
You know, this was something that's been in the works for a few years now. When Darrell Hall left Star Spencer and went to Tulsa, Washington, being close with Willis Alexander at Douglas, this was something that they started talking about immediately, started trying to work it into the schedule, and this was the first opportunity they had to get it in there. So there's the start at Booker T on Friday, at Douglas next year, and then they're move this game to Langston for the foreseeable future, as long as they can keep it alive. Sort of the Turnpike Bowl is kind of the name that it has drawn now. So a lot of people on both sides are very excited to see this game back in action.
What did this rivalry mean to these schools before it was broken up, and how did it end around 2001, 2002?
Talking to some of the people, guys like C.T. Wells, who was around in the late 40s and 50s at Douglas, Stanford White, who was the coach, played in the 60s and then became the longtime coach. This was the rivalry, particularly for the black community. This started as before the two schools were integrated. They were all black schools and weren't allowed to play against white schools. They were the two biggest black schools in the state and in the two biggest cities. It became the game. Other teams, Millwood and Northeast was a regular week one game. They would move their game to Thursday to avoid losing their crowd to Booker T and Douglas. In 2000 was the actual last regular season game they played. 2001, the game was scheduled for the week of 9/11, and obviously all games got canceled that week. So when they tried to get the game going again, Tulsa, Washington at the time was going to remain in 5A going forward, while Douglas was going to be dropping down to 4A, and Tulsa, Washington decided to schedule some other competition. They played one more time in the 2002 playoffs. That's the last time that these two teams have met, and a lot of people are really excited.
And this year's game figures to be a good one too. You've got three of the best players on the state, especially when you talk about the defensive ends on Douglas, DJ Ward, DeAndre Clark, senior and junior respectively, and then on Booker T's side, you've got Dominique Alexander.
Exactly. A ton of talent. You know, this as intense as this rivalry has been, it hasn't always been a great matchup. Douglas had been a smaller school for a while at times, and they obviously are right now with this being a 6A versus 4A matchup. But still, Douglas has a lot of talent right now. They're really excited about what this team can be. Marvin Danzler, the new coach at Tulsa, Washington now, has a lot of talent to work with. Guys like Alexander and James Callaghan on the back end. So a lot of talent going to be on the field Friday night.
Well, Scott, should be a great game in Tulsa Friday night. Thanks for joining us, and thank you. Check us out every day at newsok.com/varsity for the best high school coverage anywhere.